Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us in another session of Foyer Talks, which is a weekly talk series that Foyer is bringing to our design community to share highlights of, the best tools of the trade, um, how to build solutions that are going to help interior designers both now and in the future. And so we're pleased to bring you session 2. We'll have 2 more sessions after this as well. I'm your host, Rich Tarity, President of North America for Foyer. And I just wanted to reiterate something that I talked about on our 2-day Foyer talks. Just want to share with how Foyer is looking at this from an opportunity, both present and beyond. Just some statistics to think about. So 31%, that is the percentage increase of the subsequent stock rebound. Why this is important is this has caused a lot of clients to hit play on a lot of the paused projects that were out there. Our second stat that we look at is 1.416 million is the number of home starts that were in August. This comes directly from the US Census Bureau. This gives everyone an opportunity to really get out there to look at refreshing projects as well as getting new projects going. 82%. This is the percentage of designers finding new methods to communicate with clients and prospects, whether it's for presentation, whether it's for rendering. This really gets into the tools of the trade. The way you sell and connect with your clients has changed. And this is another key statistic that we're seeing, people researching new ways to do this. 91%, the percentage of homeowners saying how the importance of the home affects their mood, their ability to work, and overall well-being. As we heard from Blanche Garcia and a whole bunch of the different folks that we had as guest speakers on our Foyer Talk 2-day session, the way the home office has evolved and the way that people are designing outdoor spaces and indoor spaces is going to continue to change at a rapid pace, which gives our design community an opportunity to meet that demand. 78% is the percentage of homeowners that say the home office is no longer an afterthought. The amount of money people are spending right now on redoing or relaunching or renovating with their home office projects is staggering. 58%. This is the percentage of projects that are back in progress when previously were put on hold. This comes to us in a report from the ASID from August 2020. Another key statistic showing that the proportion of projects that are in progress continue to increase month over month. 87%. The percentage of booked up exhibitor space at High Point Markets event in April of 2021. So if we don't believe that there's a pinned up energy to get back out into the field and get back collaborating and continuing to advance our trade, this is a key statistic. So at Foyer, we believe the shift is not happening. It's already happened. It's here to stay. Virtual designing has become the norm. That is here to stay. And today we're going to have 2 of our guests speak to us specifically. So I'm going to get out of my presentation here. I'm going to stop sharing. And for our first guest, I just want to introduce him. His name is Chad Smith. I've had the honor of meeting Chad months and months ago, and we've collaborated on multiple fronts. So tired of getting shot. This is a very important topic for designers. We heard a lot about this. We had a lot of buzz about how do you source properly, how to not leave money on the table, how to get commission for all the hard work. So Chad's our first speaker today. He's been in the business side of the design world for 25 years. Chad is very passionate about solving the biggest problem for designers. They're not making as much money as they do provide value. So today we're going to hear from Chad around redesigning your revenue stream with side doors sales tools. Chad, how are you?
I'm great, Rich. Appreciate this opportunity.
Yep, absolutely. So if you're ready, you can take it away.
Great. Okay, guys, interior designers like you guys have an incredible opportunity right now to grow your businesses online. However, as a profession, interior designers like you guys are in jeopardy of being marginalized as everything and everyone moves into this digital economy. So we at Side Door have a new way for you to monetize your tastes and stay competitive as everything comes online. I'm not a designer, guys. However, this is the industry I've been around my entire life. My mom's a interior designer for 48 years. My wife's a designer. My sister's a designer. I'm surrounded by designers. 25 plus years I've been on the business side of the industry. All that to say that I understand what you guys are doing. I understand that it's certainly not easy and it's certainly not glamorous. In fact, it's really quite hard. In this industry, it kind of seems like if you don't have problems, then you probably don't have any clients or much business. So with that said, there's a ton of challenges facing designers as this industry comes online. I know you guys probably sense it. However, these problems are also big opportunities for change, for innovation. And this industry, frankly, I bet you would agree, is in dire need of it. It's frankly long overdue. Now we've got some amazing tools like what the guys at Foyer have produced, which is just mind-blowing to me. Softwares like AIDA's going to show you next. These digital tools can really help you present your visions, streamline your workflow like never before. Side Door is a sales tool and it's a service, and we're trying to tackle another pain point we got. In fact, we think it's like the core challenge, the root problem, if you will, and that's that designers just don't make enough money for the value you provide, and frankly, for how hard you work. This is something that has been kind of driving me nuts for decades. Seeing what my mom's been through, what my wife's been through. We built a sales tool. It's a money-making tool that helps you monetize your taste, helps you grow your business and your brand online. We're super excited about it. We're all in on this thing. It's been live for about 3 months. We've got a few thousand designers using it, and more importantly, getting paid from us every day. In a minute, I'm going to show you how it works. First, let's take a quick look at what's happening in the industry, which is kind of unfolding right in front of our eyes. I'm going to try to share my screen with you. Great. All right, cool. So you guys probably know this intuitively. This is just putting some numbers around it. The search for products. Take a look at your own business, the way you work. Where do you start? Most likely it's on this or on a laptop. This trend is not going backwards. In fact, this slide just shows some stats from designers today that 64% since COVID now are sourcing exclusively digitally online. No surprise, but what I'm trying to impress upon you is this won't be going back to the thick catalog and the old school way of doing things. It's here to stay, like Rich pointed out. There's a lot of sourcing tools out there for designers. Reality is everyone's soon going to have access to everything. I believe that. It's happened in other industries. We've been behind. It's going to be happening in this industry. And as you know, your client already knows how to use Google. More importantly, your client knows how to do Google shopping and reverse image searches probably, and you're probably sick and tired of being shopped by your clients. I know a lot of the designers I speak to are. So as the search for product is starting online, more and more the checkout now is happening online. Some stats say that home furnishings, more than 30% of the purchases are transacting online already. There's a ton of other stats I could show you. I'm not going to bore you with that, but you guys probably sense this intuitively. And what's happened is really interesting. There's a new digital baseline that's been set. Long overdue, as I said, but this restructuring, this reshuffling in home furnishings in particular has been sped up at least a decade, thanks to COVID. with that said, it's an amazing opportunity for you guys if you got your digital game together. And I know that's easier said than done, but as everything and everyone moves online, y'all, it's going to be harder and harder for designers like you to make money on product. It's going to be easier and easier for you and for your clients to shop you, frankly. So just quick summary of what's going on. Trade brands, these designer-only brands, they built their businesses through stores, reps, markets, specialty retailers, et cetera, et cetera. But most of them built their business on the backs of interior designers like you guys. Now I can assure you all these brands are scrambling to try to get online in some shape or form. They all, of course, want to sell to you. They all want to cater to designers, but frankly, most of them just can't do this efficiently. Meanwhile, like you've got a business to run, your client nor anyone else cares about these challenges we face. Amazon has trained us all super well to get what we want with one click, have it delivered for free the next day. And we all know this industry just does not work that way. Regardless of that fact, that's the expectation. And these expectations are only going to increase as e-commerce platforms get more sophisticated and frankly get more entrenched in our behavior. All right, so what does that mean for you? What are you guys supposed to do to be able to compete online? Well, I got a lot of thoughts on this, but I think the most important one is just to know what's going on, have kind of a macro view of what's happening here, and deal with kind of the reality as it is, not as like you want it to be or like it used to be. Things are changing super fast. Designers are getting squeezed and being forced to kind of rethink how you work, charge for your time, do e-design, virtual packages, etc. First things first, you got to have a website. Of course, you got to have social media, and you need those two things to make you money, not cost you money or not be a drain on your time and your business. You got to have a digital presence going forward if you don't already. The days of trade exclusivity are numbered, frankly, like it or not. I really believe that. Pricing inevitably is going to become more and more transparent online, and designers are going to have to sell their skill and not their access, because soon everything is going to be available online in some shape or form. The place you do sell, you can sell your skill at scale is online. We're going to talk about that in just a second. So if you buy into that and you think that the days of the trade exclusive are numbered, then the next question is like, how will interior designers make money in the digital economy? Think on that for a second for your own business. Right now, the truth is most designers, my wife, my mom included, they struggle to monetize their businesses. There's some really good reasons for this. One is hard. The reality is this industry is simply not set up for you to do design profitably. It's way too complicated. Some of these brands have 9 different price structures. It's ridiculous. It's way too nuanced. It's still very archaic, as we said. To be successful financially, you've got to take kind of an omni-channel approach. You've got to be entrepreneurial. You've got to hustle. The reality of this, though, designers have a huge amount of purchasing power. It's just very fragmented. Designers in North America alone specify $75 billion worth of product annually. But you're the group, just like the old school furniture rep, you guys are the ones that are getting squeezed out of these profits on the product. As everything and everyone is going online, the good news is that somebody has to curate all this. Somebody's got to find the needle in the haystack online. It's super crowded, mostly full of junk, as you know. And designers are already tastemakers. Like, you guys are already the influencers in your peer group, in your community, online in some cases. Y'all are perfectly positioned to be the ones, to be the new tastemakers going forward for the internet. So some of you are already doing e-design, which is great, selling packages, etc. But hopefully you're charging for your time or charging, fixed rate at least. And you have to be able to make money on product, we believe, on top of that. There's just not enough billable hours during the day. And frankly, there's also no way to compete on SEO with some of these larger players. I wouldn't even attempt that. So you got that, then you got the billion-dollar public corporations that are watering down the art form of interior design, in my opinion. It gets on my nerves, but it's happening, and there's not a whole lot anybody can do about it yet. But these guys individually are spending over $100 million a month targeting your customers online. So you can't compete with that either. However, you don't necessarily need to support it, in my view. These platforms, the Houses, the Wayfair, Paragolds of the world, they're not your friends. They're your competitors. And more so, they're going to be targeting your client. Every day, I'm baffled. I see these Howls logos, et cetera, which are just backlinks all over your websites, which helps Howls, but it doesn't help you. Why send customers that come to your world to someone else to purchase product? That's something I just don't get, but it's kind of been the default new way for designers to work, and I think that's a real problem. These guys don't need your help making money. Right now, designers are sending clients directly to these sites to buy or work with affiliate type programs. Let me show you a quick example of that. Let's see. So if you can see here, this is a typical one-off designer. She's got a Shopify website, etc. Over here, she just added a tab. You can shop furniture. And what you're doing here is working with either a like it to know it, or reward style, share sale, whatever. So you go there and curate, and then you click on a product if you're a client, and are sent to, say, McGee and Company, or click on, let's see, where is this going? Reward Style is now sending you to All Modern, huge e-commerce site. And in return, the designer gets 2%, 3% on that particular sale, not on anything else they may buy. So your customer's gone, and the profit on that, what you just curated for them, is now in All Modern's hands. Here's another example. So this is a Squarespace page, small design firm, good looking site. They've got similar type deal, affiliate programs. So click on a product, they drive all their traffic to their site rightly. This product, another McGee and Company sale, which they pay, I believe, 1.5% on that, which is not even worth your time in most cases. Let's see this. So this is back to All Modern. Anyway, you get the idea. So this works if you've got a huge following online. Unless you have a huge following, it doesn't make sense for most designers, in my opinion. We work with designers like Studio McGee, Becky Owens, et cetera. They've got 1 million+ followers. Those guys can make a ton of money on these affiliate deals. They can make 5 times as much money with us. So I'm going to show you kind of why I don't think this makes sense for small designers, one-off designers, solo designers that don't have a huge following. One, the fees are on average 2 to 6%. Like I said, you got to have a huge social audience that's willing to buy, since you're going to be making such a small percentage on the sale. You need massive website traffic, and you need a consistent blog and a lot of digital marketing. You got to act as an influencer with frequent reels, Instagram posts, etc. You got to have eyeballs. So most designers don't have anywhere near this amount of traffic you need to monetize this properly. There's a lot of business coaches out there that you're probably getting inundated with emails from. I know I get them every day on like how you can do ebooks, magazines, sell these affiliate programs is a way to make passive income. Much easier said than done. Frankly, a waste of time, in my opinion, for probably 99% of residential interior designers. We've got a different approach, better for a couple of reasons. One is capable of creating a long-term partnership with you guys instead of a one-off, transaction with the big e-com. It also offers trade products, these hard to get lines. You don't have to have a ton of followers. Quantity is much better than quality. One good client is worth 10 bad clients. Example, we've got a side door member just a couple weeks ago who pulled some collections together, which I'll show you in a second, shared it with the client. Client places $100,000 worth of stuff from the client, from this designer's collection. Designer gets direct deposited from us 30-something thousand bucks on this one job, which is commission income. This is pure profit, if you will. Also, using a tool like Side Door, you don't need to constantly blog. You don't have to try to be, whomever, Becky Mullins online. It's also not going to devalue the other things you're doing, your e-design, etc. Most importantly, on average, with the brands that we have, you make 31% versus 3%. That's really where it boils down to. So again, these platforms and affiliate programs are not your friend. They're not your competitors. And the above is kind of what we're up against. Now let me show you what I think you can do about it. What is Side Door? So basically, we've just built a cloud-based free money-making tool for qualifying interior designers. It allows you to create shoppable links from your favorite brands, hopefully, and then share them with your clients, share them with your fans, share them with your people on social media, etc. When people check out, we handle that, and then we pay you the commission. It's a simple way for designers to become more profitable. Designers make real money. It's commission on anything that sells, and we're handling the fulfillment. So vendors are getting orders and payment from us, one centralized account. They're happy about it, and when it works, both designers and vendors have just got a new revenue stream, which is what the whole idea is. So let's see. A couple things we're not project management. We're not a discovery tool or a sourcing tool. Everybody has Google already. We're not an affiliate program for sure. We're not like a design assistant. We can't tell you how to charge for your time or do e-design or what brands to use. We're totally brand agnostic. You still have to run your business all day, every day, the best way you can. It's not easy. There's no one right way to do it. But when you do bring in that client, when you get in that relationship on social media, whatever, get that comment on your post, now you can turn around and send them a link to that product and they can check out and you can make real commission. So let's see. Let me show you Side Door real quick. And I'm talking fast, y'all, or at least I feel like I'm talking fast. I'm gonna just try to get through this. Rich has given me a lot of time and I want to be respectful of your time. So anyway, when you log in, guys, this is your dashboard. It's password protected, so your client can never see any of this. And a couple things, like these are the lines we've just added. We'll try to add 3 to 5 new brands a week. These are the vendors that we have in here now. We've got another 40 that are in different stages of being onboarded right now. So by the end of the year, we should have 100 or so different brands in here. Hopefully some that you like. You may have accounts with already, but I doubt you have accounts with all of them. Let's see. And then in your dashboard, you'll see like your latest order that's happened on one of your collections. Let me show you what that looks like. So let's see, this was an order from a couple days ago. And small order, cost of the product, shipping broken down, total price the client's going to be charged, and this is the profit that is going to be made on this item. All right, then also on your dashboard, Also in your dashboard, you're going to be able to see like what's going on. These are activities. And this will make sense in just a second when I show you how the tool works. But these are real orders. This is a real designer account I just am impersonating. And you can see what's selling best from what's collections, shipping status, cost, profit, etc. So side door is based on collections, which are, you can think of as like personal shopping carts. Let's do one together real quick. So just pick something. Dovetail, let's find something. All right, so here's a side table. When you click on the product, you're going to see two prices. This is the designer net price, and this is the IMAP price. So IMAP, if you don't know what that means, it's internet minimum advertised price. And that's the cheapest price that a brand is going to allow anyone to sell at online. The client is only going to see this IMAP price. This way, even if they try to shop you online, they shouldn't be able to find it cheaper if everyone is following the rules. Not everyone follows the rules in the internet, as you know, but brands are spending a ton of money to enforce this. And it's going to get better and better as time goes by. Great, so we'll just create a collection real quick. Cool, so like I said, you can shop by brands, you can shop by category. Add this in. And there's filters coming soon. You can filter by price, all kinds of different things, which will really speed things up. So back in your dashboard, here's your collection you just created. And now you have a choice. You can check out on this, or you can share it. I'll walk you through the checkout real quick. So let's see. You can have it sent direct to a customer or directly to a receiver. Freight on inside door is fixed. It's 15% if it's going to a receiver, 23% if it's going to a customer. Of course, some things can't be shipped directly to a resident. Some can, some brands will, some brands won't. As you know, freight in this industry is a nightmare all the way around, but we're trying to simplify it as much as we can. So on this order, you'll see these two things. You'll see shipping broken out, no sales tax, because we'll have your resale certificate on file here. We do withhold tax when people check out at retail. This is the cost. This would be the profit on your order. My son has been on my computer and I'm getting all these pop-ups. Sorry about that. Sharing, this is cool. I want to show you this real quick. So basically, say you don't want to buy it and resell it to your client. Say you just want to put it on your website, show it on social media, put it in a mood board, whatever. Now all you got to do is click this little link. You can copy this. It works across all kinds of tools. Or if you just want to email it to your client, when they get it, they're going to be seeing the IMAP price, including freight. So they have a one-click checkout, which is really cool. Then they just put in their credit card number and check out. And then what's happening behind the scenes, when that order is being placed, we receive it. We're placing the orders. We're aggregating orders for thousands of designers. We're placing them on the accounts that we've set up with these brands. We're paying the vendor. We're dealing with coordinating the freight. We're submitting any taxes due, etc. We're seeing it either to your receiving warehouse or directly to the client. Once it is successfully delivered to the client, you guys are getting paid. You're getting the difference between the IMAP price in this example, which is $8.45. That's what the client checked out at, and $4.90, which is what you could buy it at from our tiers if you have an account and then jump through the hoops. So that spread there is your commission. You know, when you sign on with Side Door, you connect to Stripe, and we directly deposit this straight into your account, which is great, and it comes in as commission income. So there's no paperwork, there's no POs, there's nothing. You just have to, claim this as commission income. If you make more than $600 from us, per year, then you're going to get a 1099 from us with commission income. Next obvious question is, how do we make money? I'll show you exactly. So we've set up all these accounts. We've jumped through their hoops. We've negotiated. Frankly, I'm just asking them for the same sweetheart deals they're giving these giant e-tailers. We're placing these orders that come in on the accounts that we've set up, like a true wholesale or a stocking dealer price. We're making the spread between the stocking dealer price and the non-stocking dealer price, or the designer net price. With this margin, like I said, we're dealing with the credit card fees, withholding, chasing the vendors, reps. We're doing all the painful back office stuff. And you guys are making the spread between the trade price, non-stocking dealer price, and IMAP price. So just a couple more quick examples. Where am I? Yeah, so I showed you how you can share a collection. Now, like, think about your website. You've probably got hopefully you've got a website, and you've got, it's probably Squarespace, Shopify, WordPress, Wix, whatever. But now this website, this is a designer. Now she can just add a button, curate collections, and now anyone can shop directly from her website without having for her to build out any full e-commerce suite, etc. Another example, social media. We're seeing a lot of checkouts this way. Frankly, some designers, like, Becky Owens, have 1 million+ followers. Some have 2 followers, whatever. They both have the same problem. They don't know how to monetize their following. Now with like a free link service, you can do an install, direct people back up to your bio. This is the only shoppable link or clickable link you can have on Instagram right now. Click on it. This, what's going on here? Sorry. Click on it, and now, I'm not sure why it's not working. Here it is. Now you're, my son's creeping in here. Now you're shopping straight from her Instagram. She's doing it by color for some reason, and now she can monetize her social media following, which is pretty cool. All right, I've been going fast, and hopefully y'all are still with me. The reason I wanted to show it to you, it's free. It's free for qualifying designers. I encourage you to check it out. You can request access at onsidedoor.com. You can share these collections one-on-one. You don't have to put them on your website. You don't have to use them on social media. You can even just use Side Door to, discover products or to check out yourself. But the key is you need to grow your revenue, your brand, not someone else's. So to recap, this is just a free sales tool for designers. It's a simpler way for you guys to become more profitable online. All right, cool. Rich, that's my spiel.
Chad,
Can you hear me?
Yep, I'm here. All right, so I'm just going to queue up a few things. First of all, most of the questions coming in, just because I've known Chad and his business, you can go right to onsidedoor.com to get most all the answers to some of the questions you're asking. I just wanted to tee up a couple of questions, Chad, is how many brands does Side Door have on the platform today?
So we've got 150 right now on the site. There's around 55. There's 40 in onboarding. And as you know, some vendors are more organized than others. A lot of them, frankly, don't have their digital game together either. So we're helping them clean up their digital assets, mapping it to our system. You're probably not surprised. Some of them may even still send you a giant catalog. They don't have this online. So we're helping them to get into the digital age. But to answer your question, right now you can shop from 55 of these brands.
Okay, got it. Is there any fee to getting started with Side Door to sign up?
No, no, it's completely free. There's no contract. There's no obligation. You need to have, a resale certificate on file with us. That's it. And it's going to stay free for everyone that gets in on this early access period. And again, no commitment, so you can leave anytime. The cool thing, and I'm looking kind of multitasking, I see a lot of questions, how do we make money, et cetera. I explain that, but the reality is, like, I think our incentives are completely aligned. Like, we don't make any money unless we give you a useful tool that helps you make money. So we're trying to be completely transparent about that.
Yep. So there's really no qualifiers to a designer using your platform. It's really built for any and all designers to use the platform.
That's right, Rich. Anybody from a big firm to a small kind of part-time designer. But I can say that, like, for e-designers, it's kind of a no-brainer. If you're packaging things and used to sending them out for a 2% commission, you can make, 15 times that using this with trade products. So yeah, it runs the gamut. It's flexible. It also works on a lot of other project management softwares that you may be using, mood boards. You can embed these links anywhere.
Okay, perfect. And then a couple more. Is this available outside the US in like Canada or the UK yet?
Not yet. Not yet. We want it to be, and it's coming. Canada is going to be next, hopefully in probably Q2 of next year, Rich. But no, right now it's just for US based designers.
Got it. Let's see. Can the designer offer additional discounts to the client using this?
Yeah, that's a good one. I get that one a lot. Yes, so a designer can check out and then you can resell it to your client at the same price if you want to, or you can give them a sweetheart deal, or you can charge them 4 times as much. It's completely up to you. However, if you want to share that link with them and have them check out, they can only check out at the IMAP price. That's our arrangement with the brands. So if you want to share it with your client, they're going to only be able to check out at IMAP. And of course, be careful because they've got the internet too, and that product's probably being sold somewhere else. They may find out that you charge them 5 times as much, but that's up to you.
Are you, so is Side Door handling all of the freight and the warehousing? So in other words, the designer's just doing the ordering and everything else is left to the service.
That's right. Yeah, we're actually not warehousing anything. Everything's drop shipped. Some of these brands will ship on our accounts, some won't, but they'll be billing us for the freight, not the designer. So we're collecting freight up front, and then we're paying it to deal with this order. Freight's a nightmare, especially right now. Lead times are crazy. Everything's kind of turned upside down. But it was a nightmare before COVID. It's just gotten 4 times worse. It will get sorted out. There's a lot of finally investment in tech coming in the logistics side of the industry, so it's going to get better. But to answer your question, a designer doesn't have to deal with any of it. Our team has to. And Rich, if I could kind of explain that real quick, we're a smaller spinoff of a larger company that does huge commercial installations. So there's a team of 40 that's used to processing thousands of POs with hundreds of vendors for full installs for communities like Four Seasons in Mexico or Diamondback Resort. So doesn't make it easy, but it just means we've got a team, we've got processes, and we've got kind of a back office that knows what we're getting into. It's certainly not easy. There's a lot of complexity to get, if you sell a collection on that example I gave, she had 20 different vendors on that one collection that her client's buying from. That's 20 different POs, 20 different shipments to coordinate, and some things are in style. There's the same moving parts that y'all are used to already. It's just being taken off your plate. That's essentially the service.
This is a question, looks like it's coming in from an existing side door customer that's using the service, but last week, this designer had an e-design client sidestep the side door link and buy the same universal sofa from a random website for less. What can she do about that?
Well, I'd be irritated. I'm sure she is, but the reality is nobody and no tool can stop your client from shopping. What we're betting on is that you're in a relationship with this person and she'd rather buy it from you than from a nameless, faceless website. But if she wants to shop you, she will shop you, which is what just happened. So that sucks. The other part of that is Universal probably doesn't know about this website, because if they did, they're selling below IMAP and violating their policy and in danger of getting their account taken away. So they got one sale, but they might not get another one from Universal. And this is just the reality of the Wild West on the internet. Like, what we're trying to do is follow everybody's best practices. We're following all Universal's rules. And what we want to do is give you and your client a way to buy Universal. How are you going to do that now? It's not easy, but that same client who did that to you, that's a client problem, I'm afraid. Nothing we can do about that.
Yep. Thanks, Chad. Another one came in. How fast do you get your commissions?
That's a great question. So the way we're doing it, when you sign in to SideDoor, you can use the tool, et cetera, et cetera. But before you can have someone check out, you have to connect to Stripe, which is easy, fast, and key point, like Stripe is how you get paid. It's not how, we can't take money out from Stripe. It's only how we give you your commission. And the way we're doing it is, and in the dashboard, you'll be able to see the different stages that the order's in. Once that order is delivered, our team is calling, confirming it's delivered, making sure everything's not damaged, et cetera. And then at that point, the same day, your commission is direct deposited into your account. Mm-hmm. Damage happens. It's just, nobody can do anything about it. It's a giant pain. At that point, though, we're the ones that are on the hook for the damage, because we've paid the freight, we've paid the vendor. We've got to either file a claim or we've got to get a replacement from the vendor. The designer doesn't have to be involved, but you wouldn't get that commission until the item is successfully delivered to the end user.
Okay. And are the shipments direct to the consumer? Is white glove delivery an option as part of this in the process?
Yeah. So they have a choice. Again, you can have it shipped to a receiver or to a client. It really depends on the product. Like a bed, for instance, an 18-wheeler will not deliver to a residence that thing. It's got to be sent to a receiver. If you don't have a receiver, we're going to find one for you. And I just lost my train of thought, but I get the shipping thing fires me up, Rich. It's such a mess. But yeah, to answer your question, we do have white glove options. We've taken that off the site right now because we found that in a lot of big cities, nobody's going to anybody's house. So it's really hard to find a white glove company that will deliver it, set it up in someone's house. Right now, it's not going to be like this forever, we hope. But yeah, so in that situation, we would coordinate it to a receiver, and then you'd have to work with that receiver, just like you do now, to get that installed in your client's house.
Okay. Let's see. Just something I'll ask, because I recently went to try to get something shipped from a company, and they said about 16 weeks out for just a couch. But let me ask you this. Are you finding that some of your brands have tighter controls over logistics and transportation and are shipping faster than other brands? Is that something that I can differentiate as an interior designer to push those brands a little more?
Yeah, I can tell you, it's not surprisingly the larger companies, the public companies in some situations that have the leverage with the manufacturers. They're getting their stuff. The smaller, more artisanal brands are getting pushed down the line. What we've got right now, over 1 million SKUs on Side Door, but what you're going to see in Side Door, I skipped this part in the demo. We've got around 250,000 or so SKUs showing in the app. That's what's in stock. So as of today, what you see in Side Door, the brand is telling us is in stock. We get inventory feeds that we update every day to the app. So if you see it in Side Door today, it's in stock today. Doesn't mean it'll be there tomorrow, but if you share that collection and it goes out of stock, then that client will see that it's out of stock. And Rich, like what we've already built, but we can't use is a lead time function. Like we want to show all 1 million SKUs, of course, and let people check out and then be able to give them a lead time. But
Yeah.
truthfully, these brands don't know themselves, frankly. A lot of these guys just don't know when stuff's going to come in. And that 16-week thing is not just your bad luck. That's kind of industry-wide across all categories, I'm afraid.
Yeah. This is a question. I'm not sure I understand it, but maybe you will based on the way it's asked. It says, what is involved in qualifying in addition to a reseller certificate?
There's not any other requirement. We'd like to see that you've got a professional website or that you've got at least a business ID. If you don't have a resale certificate, you can upload your business license, but this is a tool for professional interior designers. You've got to have some kind of verification that you in fact are a legitimate designer, not just a hobbyist who wants to get a discount, which as we all know, there's plenty of those out there too, but we're catering to the professional designer.
And then from a designer's perspective, there was a few questions that came in about how fast can you get started. I would imagine as quickly as someone goes to your site and signs up. Is there also any type of onboarding for customized training, video training? What's a realistic approach? If I sign up today and I'm a designer, within a few hours, am I comfortable with the tool and understanding it? Is it going to be a few weeks? Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. So yeah, if you go to the website, request access, you'll get an invite that same day. You'll come in, you'll be able to log in, you'll be able to play around in the app. At that point, before you do anything, checking out wise, you'll need to upload your resale certificate. You won't be able to share or sell anything without that. We have weekly webinars. There's a way to do one-on-one demos. You can book time for that. We're moving fast here. We're bringing on a handful of customer service people that just do customer success, like just to make sure you guys know how to use it. And I think it's easy, but it's also like, it's tech, and a lot of people, like my mom, has no idea how this thing works, to be honest. She has, her assistant does, but she doesn't. So it just depends on how comfortable you are. There's a embed coming that you can use on your website that will be kind of turnkey. But the truth is, like, we've spent a year building this to make it as simple as possible, just knowing that a lot of designers are creatives, not necessarily tech engineers. So we're really trying to make a simple tool for you.
Yeah. Something else came in as well. So the brands that you're associated with are found on the website. I know that because I've been out there a few times to see that. There's no upfront fees. Just trying to knock out a few of these as we wind down. There's no cost to this. Here's one that says, for things like Black Friday sales and other type of sales, whether it's Labor Day sales that a lot of these furniture manufacturers have, do you promote those sales as well? Does that trickle down through you and then ultimately to the designer?
Well, sadly, the answer, it depends. It depends on how organized the brand is in getting us their stuff. For instance, the only direct-to-consumer brand that you see in Side Door right now is Our House. And the reason they're in there, they have their own trade program. That gives you 6%. If you order it through Side Door, you get 27%. So that's why they're in there. It's a benefit to the designer. Our house does crazy promotions all day, every day, and they send us a feed. So yeah, we can keep that up to date. But if say Oli decides they want to do a promotion tomorrow, they go in and do a promotion tomorrow, and we don't hear about it until a designer tells us about it. So this industry just doesn't, as you know, it's not, everybody's not connected like a Swiss watch here. Like we're just like you guys and just like these brands, we're trying to, you know, navigate this, but push everything towards more streamlining of purchasing and availability. And we're at the mercy, frankly, to answer that question on like what they tell us at this point.
Yep. Okay, cool.
When we've got $1 billion like Paragold, we'll get to dictate the terms, but for now we're at the mercy of what they give us.
Excellent. Hey, Chad, really appreciate it. We've got our next speaker that I'm going to introduce, so you can drop off. But a lot of good chatter, a lot of good Q&A happening, a lot of good feedback from the group. So appreciate it.
I appreciate everybody joining. Thanks for your attention, and thanks, Rich, for having me, man. Really an honor. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Talk soon. All right, so just moving along here, we have Ida Laura coming up. Ida's been with us on multiple occasions, so we're happy to have her back. Always gets the buzz going. But today we have a unique approach where Ida's going to be comparing some best interior design softwares and giving us her feedback. Ida's a registered interior designer in the state of Florida. She has her bachelor's in architecture, master's in interior architecture. She's a lead green associate, lead green. So that's key for some of the designers that are out there. And with her rich experience, she's gathered immense knowledge on design softwares. I had a chance to see some of the presentations, so I'm excited to continue to tune in and now get the live version of Ida's approach here. So how are you?
I'm good, Rich.
Good.
How are you?
I'm good. So
Can
I'm going to hand it over.
Hear me well? Can you see me?
Yeah,
all good?
You sound good. We can see you good.
Perfect.
Yep. So if you want, you can start your screen share.
I can share. Okay.
Yep. And I will. I'll handle the Q&A at the end and tee up some questions for you that we're getting through the chat.
Just let me know if you're able to see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, so just housekeeping. I have two screens. Camera is on this one and presentation is on the other one.
I think we lost your audio.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yeah, it looks like let's see. Your video is just, I think, getting a little bit delayed.
Okay, can you see my screen?
We can see it. Yeah, best interior design presentation. So screen's good, audio's good. We just lost the video component.
The video. Okay, I was saying some housekeeping that I have two screens. The camera is on the screen right in front of me, and then I have the other screen where I have the presentation. So if you see me looking, side to side, going back and forth, it's just because of that. Thank you everyone for joining these great webinars by Foyer. Thank you, Richard, and thank you everyone for having me. So let's jump into the topic. Best interior design presentation software. First, what is an interior design presentation, right? So an interior design presentation is the visual graphical explanation of the project. It is usually used to present, sell ideas to the clients, to explain design to realtors, contractors, engineers, and other design field partners. Also, it's used to demonstrate your design portfolio expertise, to show your project, to sell your initial ideas on the decor, on you know, sketches, layouts. That's why us interior designers use the presentations. Moving to the next slide, what are the contents of an interior design presentation? The contents of an interior design presentation are diagrams, plans, photos, mood boards, elevation, sections, 3D renders. So in order for you to have a complete presentation to show your design project, you need to have at least 90% of these or all of these.
Ada, I think we lost your audio now as well. Let's just give her a second here. Ada, if you can hear me, we lost your audio. Still have video up. Thank you all for being patient. We're just going to try to refresh her connection and bring her right back in. Hey, just a couple of quick things that I will do until we get her back is I just want to reiterate a couple things around the contest. So there's actually 3 contests. We've got our Foyer Neo Weekly raffle, which you can register. Once you register for the webinar series, you're automatically entered into that raffle. So you can share it on social media from the buttons provided when you sign up. Once you sign up and share events on social media, it is counted as a successful entry. So there's going to be 4 winners for that over the 4 talk series. Then we have Top Buzz Creator on social media. It's basically just sharing about the event. You're going to want to use the hashtag FoyerTalksNeo, and the best post stands a chance to win $100 cash transfer every week. And then kudos on your first render. You want to sign up at Foyer.com. You can get a 14-day free trial on Neo. You do not need a credit card, and create your first render, share it on Insta and or Pinterest using the hashtag #Foyr Neo Weekly, and one lucky winner will get $250. So let's make sure we get very, very creative with that. Zoe's been posting and the Foyer team's been posting a lot about the different the contests and just the overview of the Foyer Talk contest as well. So keep an idea of what's going on in the Q&A as well as in the chat, the Zoom webinar chat, and you'll see lots of different links in different ways. The recording, I saw a few people ask, the recording for this is going to be posted on our YouTube channel. So that's going to be also very important for everybody to note as well. So just FYI there, all of this, all the recordings of all 4 of these will be put on our YouTube channel. So
Rich, I'm back. Can you guys hear me?
We can, yep.
So he recommended me not to put the video. That way the Wi-Fi won't kick me out. The Zoom won't kick me out. So I'm gonna keep the video off for now.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect. So I'm gonna begin from the very first slide. Just, I don't know where I was kicked out.
Yep, go for it.
Okay, so best interior design presentation software. First of all, what is an interior design presentation? An interior design presentation is the visual and graphical explanation of the project. It is usually used by us interior designers to present, sell ideas to clients, to explain design to realtors, contractors, engineers, and other design field partners. It is also used to demonstrate your design portfolio expertise, to sell a project, to show your resume, the capabilities that you have as an interior designer, and more. So it's really important that us interior designers know they know how to put together good presentations, digital or even physical presentations in terms of finishes and sample, because that's how we can sell our projects. So what is the content of an interior design presentation? The content of an interior design presentation are diagrams, plans, photos, mood boards, elevations, sections, 3D renders. And for you to have a good, well-accomplished interior design presentation, you should have at least 85–90% of these items here. So you can have a presentation without 3D renders, that's fine, depending on the level of the design process that you are. You can have a design presentation without sections, depending again on the design process and the phase of the project. Let's talk about diagrams, right? So diagrams are used by us interior designers as a way to subjectively explain the function, the privacy levels, the connectivity of the areas. We do bubble diagrams, we do diagrams studying the structure of the space, studying the existing spaces and boundaries. We do a lot of type of diagrams. So we can do these diagrams easily in PowerPoint, Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, and Canva, right? There are several programs out there that help you produce beautiful diagrams in all different levels. For instance, this diagram that I'm showing here was produced in PowerPoint, the one on the left, like the bubble diagram. And then the other diagram that I have on the right, which is more like a structural and existing condition diagram of the building, was created in Photoshop. So you can use these programs to your benefit and have different levels of complexity on these diagrams. To give you a little bit more detail on these programs, so PowerPoint is the less expensive. So PowerPoint, whenever you get your Microsoft Office package, you have PowerPoint, so it's really affordable and non-expensive. Graphics will be any Adobe Suite program, meaning Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign. And right now, Canva is a program that is on trend, it's affordable, it's an application that you can even have on your phone. So you can even accomplish these diagrams on Canva. I will say that the most difficult program to learn to do these diagrams, the most time consuming, will be Illustrator. So in Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, and Canva. Moving to the next element that will be a content of your interior design presentation is plans, right? The plans can be demonstrated in different ways. You can have render plans, you can have construction documents plans, like you see here. The one on the upper left is more like a render floor plan, and the one on the lower right is a construction document floor plan, more technical. And so you can produce these plans in different software. So you can use AutoCAD, Revit, Vectorworks, Foyer Neo, SketchUp, ArchiCAD, right? I have my comments on every single of these programs, and it will all depend on the type of project that you're working on, your client, the level of complexity of the project. That's how you determine what kind of program, what kind of software you need to develop your plans. So if you ask me, the less expensive will be Foyer Neo. You can do beautiful render floor plans on Foyer Neo and very quickly. The most quality for construction documents to submit to the city, to submit to engineers, to contractors to do the actual construction, I will say is AutoCAD. AutoCAD takes time to learn. It takes a level of complexity to understand. So even though you get the most quality, that's the cons on AutoCAD. On trend, we know that Foyer Neo is one of the 3 programs right now that are on trend. So Foyer Neo will be the one that I consider is booming. The most difficult to learn will be Vectorworks. So Vectorworks is very time consuming, is a big program, and it will give you a lot of options that actually help you with producing the further drawings and renderings and elevations and sections. The most time consuming will be Revit, right? Revit is a very complex program, is a big program that takes time to learn and is really expensive as well. The easier to learn, again, I come back to Foyer Neo, because just by looking at video tutorials, a couple hours of those, you can easily learn how to do a complete floor plan, final render. So I will say that is the easier to learn from this list. Moving on with the content of your interior design presentation, you will have to produce mood boards. And what are mood boards? Mood boards is to demonstrate the feel, the look and feel, the mood of your space, the vibe that you want to create in that interior space, and make the client understand a little bit more about it. So you can create mood boards in Photoshop, iPhone photo applications, and Canva. This specifically that I have here on the screen, I created in Photoshop, right? So you take different images of finishes, texture, people, environments, details, you put it together and show to your clients, demonstrating the mood of your project. If we go in depth of the mood board programs and softwares, we can see that the less expensive will be an iPhone photo editor application. Any iPhone or any Android application, you can do mood boards. You can put together photos on your phone and then save it and send it via email, or put it on your PDF. The most quality will be Photoshop. Photoshop is an Adobe suite a component that has a lot of good reputation and gives you quality images. And then on trend, we go back to Canva. Canva is one of the programs, softwares that is on trend right now. It's also an application for your phone, and you can create beautiful mood boards in half an hour, 15 minutes, 10 minutes or so. The most difficult to learn will be Photoshop. Photoshop, like I mentioned before, takes hours. You need to look up tutorials. You need to understand how to manipulate the pictures and the photos and all the commands. So it takes time to learn. Moving forward, the next component of your design presentation will be elevations and sections, right? You want to show your client how those spaces would actually look, when you're facing forward, you're looking directly to those spaces. So the difference between an elevation and a section is that in elevation, you see only the finish, you see exactly what is in front of you. And on a section, you see the actual cut of the structure. So on a section, you'll see the cut of the walls, you see the cut of the foundation and what is happening on the ceiling as well. These are elevations. You can produce elevations on AutoCAD, Revit, Vectorworks, Foyer Neo, SketchUp, and ArchiCAD. These specific elevations that I'm showing here were produced in Revit, right? I want to show a variety of images that I can produce in every program. So these were produced in Revit, but of course I had to retouch it on Photoshop. I had to tweak the colors, the lighting, and to have it final for the presentation. If we go in depth, talking about these programs to produce elevations, I will say that the most efficient will be, again, Foyer Neo, and I will expand a little bit more why. If you produce your drawing in less than half an hour in Foyer Neo, and then you accommodate your camera view before you take out your rendered picture, you can easily manipulate that view to be a orthogonal elevation. So you can get elevations in Foyer Neo as well. So you can just have to, you would just have to crop it and you will be able to have elevations. The most quality elevations that you can get from any of these software will be from Revit and AutoCAD, because these are programs that work with vectors. And of course, the level of complexity of these programs will give you also that level of quality and specifics. For elevations, you also have Canva. You can do elevations on Canva. I've seen it. I don't know how people do it, but they come out with lines and putting images together of different furniture and different elements, and they will do elevations. I don't know how simple it is, even though Canva is a very easy software to work with, but I think that it could take time to put together those images of people and furniture and lighting and this and that, and crop every single image. The most difficult to learn will be Revit and Vectorworks. Again, these are programs, softwares that are BIM, so which is an integration of the different elements. So it will take time, months of you doing webinars and workshops and practicing for you to learn these programs. Less accurate will be SketchUp. And why would I say that SketchUp is the less accurate? Because in SketchUp, you put a line, it's a wall, and you don't know exactly where in the space that line will land. Like if you try to export that drawing to an AutoCAD or to something else, usually those lines that you saw orthogonal on your SketchUp, they end up being crooked, or they end up being not as straight as you saw it in SketchUp. So that's why I found SketchUp a little bit less accurate for elevations. The most expensive software here within all of these is Revit, right? Because Revit is over $300, I think, per month or so. So I will say that the most expensive, unless you work already for a corporation or a design firm that provides you with a user of Revit, then you will have to pay your own if you're an independent interior designer or a student. For students, you have more flexibility. Good, so now we got to the point where we are almost interested, which is 3D renderings. I love 3D renderings. The renderings are the images that will seal the contract, that will seal the deal with the client, right? Because it's the visual interpretation of the project, of what we gonna deliver after the project is done. Since us designers, we have the eye, we have the capability of imagine and visualize how all the finishes, how the drawings will look in reality when built. We can easily just imagine that and have it in our mind, but to put it in paper and have those images beautiful and softened and almost photorealistic for the client is something that every time amaze me every time I work on a project. So 3D renderings are key for interior design presentations, either by hand or by a software. So specifically here, we're going to talk about different software. So you can do 3D renders on Revit, Vectorworks. You can do it in Foyer Neo. You can do it in SketchUp. ArchiCAD that I haven't even expanded too much because I found ArchiCAD a little bit dated. I mean, some design firms and some designers still use it, but I feel that it's still a little behind compared to the others. So that's why I haven't even mentioned it. I just had it there just because I know you can do renderings, but I wouldn't consider moving forward for the next couple of years unless they come up with something new. So these renderings were done in different programs, right? The one on the upper left was done in Revit. That one was done in Revit. The one in the lower deck and the lower side was done in Foyer. And the one on the upper right, this one was done in Foyer as well, for you to have a guidance on the different quality. And all of the three of them look beautiful, photorealistic, beautiful lighting, and perfect to sell the project. So going in depth in these 3D rendering softwares, I can tell you that the most efficient and faster 3D rendering program is Foyr Neo, the one that I have used. I have used all of the 5 that I have here. The most quality and in commercial, specifically in commercial projects like healthcare, hospitality, educational facilities, for you to develop those type of complex project is Revit, right? But we already said that Revit is really expensive unless, again, you work for a design firm that provides you with a user. On trend, for residential, I will say Foyer Neo. Foyer Neo is booming. The most difficult to learn, I will again emphasize Revit and Vectorworks. These will take you months to learn, and a lot of practicing, a lot of doing trials and try to get the lighting, model, and the coordination that you need. The less accurate will go back to SketchUp and ArchiCAD, even though a SketchUp will give you photorealistic renders, but I still found it not accurate, not completely accurate, and you need to have a lot of plugins to actually enhance the program. And ArchiCAD, I already mentioned, is for me is kind of dated, and still needs a lot of work. The most expensive, Revit, easier to learn, Foyer Neo. You don't even have to take any courses, you don't have to pay additional money to learn it within the program. You have the free video, so it is easier to learn. And the highest quality in the lowest time, just to drop the mic, will be again Foyer Neo. And I know you guys are gonna ask me for more in-depth comparison, and I'm ready for that. So let's do a quick and fun comparison. And Rich, take the questions in the comments here. So Revit, right? So here I have a render that I personally did on Revit, so I can speak of. So it took me 4 days, right, to model. So from the floor plan that I had, that I produced in AutoCAD in a different format, in a different program, I exported that to Revit, and then it took me 4 days to kind of coordinate everything that I needed to coordinate, to model every single niche, to bring in all the furniture, to coordinate all the lighting, to make every single family, that's how Revit works, family to work with, and of course to bring up all the images of the finishes, to collect all that library. It took me 4 days. The learning curve time, it was months of training. I learned this in my master's degree. So I will say 3 months, 4 months, 6 months of training. PC configuration, I needed to have a strong video card and memory in order to get the program even moving and to navigate within the program because of the heavy files. And then I had to render on the cloud, which was not an issue, but I needed to have a strong, heavy, expensive video card on my computer. And of course, the cost of this render, if we were to compare, was over $300 for me because I had to pay for that access to use Revit, access to use AutoCAD, the time that I put in, the resourcing of materials, connections to get the families of the different manufacturers, etc. Then SketchUp. This model that you see in the center here was done in a SketchUp. The time to model this model and render was approximately 15 hours, right? Of course, I didn't do these in one day, but if I kind of summarize the quantity of time that it took me, it will be 15 hours, which is basically 2 days of business hours. Learning curve, weeks of training. If not weeks, I'll say a month and a half or so, because I needed to learn how to bring all those plugins for the different things, for the objects, for the lighting, to bring in images, model, do the niches, coordinate the furniture, etc. And then the PC configuration, same thing as Revit. I needed to have a strong video card and memory to be able to render. And of course, the actual rendering process was like 4 or 5 hours just to render and leave my computer rendering, 4 to 5 hours. And the cost over $200, again, if we summarize the time, the cost of the program, the plugins, etc. Then the other render on the right was produced in less than 2 hours, right? To model and render, the actual rendering process was 45 minutes. The modeling was what took, an hour or so. So to model, and I know that 3 renders are different levels of complexity. You have a kitchen, you have a bedroom, and you have a public area. But I just want you to have a comparison, a starting point on, the different levels of complexity and the different type of images that you can get with the different programs. The learning curve in Foyer Neo. So the first time I used it, it was really fun. I started, putting lines and walls and here and that. And just by watching a couple webinars, I quickly understood the way it worked. So just maybe 2 hours watching or 3 hours watching videos was more than enough. And then the PC configuration, believe it or not, I just needed to have Wi-Fi because everything is done on the cloud. So I didn't have to have an expensive computer or laptop to be able to use this program. Or I could even go to a public library or a public cyber cafe or something and just do the rendering there. So it is really amazing how you can do that. Just sign up on your account and with internet, you can make it happen. And the cost of this was, of course, less than $100, right? Because of the monthly subscription and let's say the time. So less than $99 was the cost of this rendering. So you can kind of put value into your work to actually charge your clients. So Rich, this is it for me. I look forward to get some questions and answer for you guys.
So Ida, one of the questions came in is that, someone said, wow, this must be rigged because how can it be that much better? You did a great job of explaining the Foyer Neo just in a comparison to some of the older tools, I'll say, that are out there, because, just like anything in life, technology evolves. And, you've got just an example, iPhone from Apple taking over BlackBerry, which had such a prominent market on cell phones, and Nokia for all those years. So could you just give a little context to, just how good you really do feel the software is for designers?
Yes, of course, Rich. So one of the main things about Foyer is how easy it is to learn it. For me, that was, shocking, because every time someone's put on my face a different program, like, no, I don't want to know more. No, I'm okay with that. But when I saw Foyer, I was like, oh, I think it's worth it to learn it, because it's so quick to learn it, and it will save me so much time. Like with these images that are so photorealistic that I could get with Foyer, I can still charge the same fee to my client, but of course it will take me less time to produce this drawing. So I think that is one of the main benefit of, let's say, flipping or just kind of make Foyer your go-to software program for interior design projects. Rich, I lost you. I'm not able to hear you.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. One of the questions that came in is, how do you make your renders so photorealistic?
So depend on the software that you use, right? Like I said, if I use Revit or SketchUp or what's the other program, or even AutoCAD, which I rarely use to do rendering because it's so complex, I need to, of course, give a layer of Photoshop session, meaning 2 or 3 hours of Photoshopping, cropping this area. Let's say whenever there's a window, I want to just, make a layer there and just make the light to come in brighter, or emphasize the artificial lighting in the space. So I do that, enhancing that in Photoshop. I want to add people, accessorize that rendering in Photoshop. So I give that extra layer in Photoshop. If it's in Foyer Neo, I can do that too. I can bring the final image to Photoshop. But what I have noticed is that there's so many items and objects and different elements available in your library, and some are in downloadable, that if I want a book, or if I want a glass of wine or flowers or something to enhance it, I can have that from the program directly. So it takes a layer of work by using that program.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you for that. Another one that came in is, can 3D renders only do the job to seal a project? And do you share drawings later? How do you approach that with clients?
Can you repeat the question? It's about 3D.
Yes, so it's someone's asking, like, with 3D renders, do you do the 3D renders for a client to seal the project at the end, or do you share some renders up front through the process?
Oh, okay, I got it. Depending. So let's say the complexity of the project, and also what is in the scope of work. In the scope of work, I like to put exactly the quantity of images that the client would get. So let's say I'm designing a kitchen, right? So I put in my scope of work and contract that the client will get 3 final images for the project. So what I do is, like, let's say for the preliminary presentation where the client, when I had the first meeting and the client, we went to the site or sent me the pictures of the space and already told me the ideas, what's kind of the vision and the decor that he wants, the vibe. So I produce let's say like a sketchy black and white render. So I can even do that in Foyer, because just I model everything and I just do a snip of the space, so I can snip it and make it look like it's not finalized. And not because I don't have the time, but I don't want to show a final render on the first submittal, the preliminary, because then the client is gonna say, okay, so well, I don't need more renderings, and so you're showing me this for free. I'm getting this rendering for free. No, you should give a taste of it and then produce and charge for the final rendering. So it's a combination. You can even do a sketch by hand and outlining from Foyer, from a different project with a pencil, and just give that to the client. And oh, this is how it's gonna. That's how I'm envisioning your space. And then for the final submittal, for whenever I put together the package, I will give you the photorealistic rendering.
Okay, perfect. And then I'll tee up one last question. How has integrating Foyr Neo into your design practice really helped you?
So before I learned about this new program, I was not including 3D renderings in all my design projects, to be honest. I was just doing sketches. And specifically in those projects that are small residential, because usually the client doesn't have the budget to pay for photorealistic renderings produced in Revit or in Vectorworks, because of the level of complexity and timing that you need to put in. So the client cannot afford those renderings. But now that I can do these renderings in 45 minutes and 50 minutes, I can easily throw that on the scope of work, and it's not gonna be thousands of dollars for the client. It's gonna be half of it or a little less than that. And the client can be happy and talk to it about it with other peers and friends and say, well, this is how my kitchen is gonna look at the end. And look, this is a final result, and this is the image that the designers show me, and it's exactly the same. And then at the end, that's feedback, and that gives you good reputation as a designer, because you're giving the client exactly what he paid for.
Yep, I appreciate that. Just one more, because it came in a few times. Is there any drawback, if any, that you've experienced with Foyr Neo?
To be honest, I can think on a couple, and the first one would be that I would like you guys to keep developing further the different objects and options that you have. Let's say I would like to develop, let's say, different kind of environments and have the type of furniture for those environments that I know you guys still are feeding your libraries but are not there. So I would like to see more desking option. I would like to see more lighting fixtures, these different type of options. I would like to see more ceiling elements. I would like to see more complex finishes, or like just the elements are available right now. I just would like to see more, and I know it's a working process, but I think that's the feedback I have, that I want more.
No, that's perfect. We love feature requests, and I think you'll be very impressed with what we have coming up with Foyer shapes, and also a lot more around the artificial intelligence that we've released around auto sun and lighting and things like that. So we just continue to keep listening. So thank you for that. All right, that concludes everything. We are good to go. I appreciate everybody here that just, gave us all their attention today. I appreciate Chad and Ida for joining us today. As always, just a lot of insight, a lot of really good, valuable tips there from our group. And again, there's 3 ways for us to enter into the contest. You're already entered if you signed up for the webinar series, which is great. It's going to be 4 winners there over the 4 Foyer Talk series. The top buzz creator on social media, this one's really big because if you use hashtag Foyer Talks Neo and you have the best post, that stands a chance to win $100. And then kudos on your first render. So we're looking for all these first renders, folks to share it on Insta and Pinterest. Come out and be as creative as you want. That one is going to be one lucky winner that is going to get the $250 cash prize for that. So again, we'll be back next Thursday, and the following Thursday, we have 2 more sessions coming up in our Foyer Talk series. And we really appreciate everybody joining us today, and we hope you have a pleasant day. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.